Hello, welcome to the next video which shows the chart how to plot charts part 2. In this video I am going to show how to plot error bars and then how to use sparklines to show data trends. Firstly, let's see how to plot error bars. What do error bar mean in Excel? Error bars in Excel is a graphical representation of data variability. They show the precision of a measurement. The bars usually represent standard deviation and standard error. They indicate how far from the determined value the true value is. Error bars on charts provides more comprehensive view of the dataset and allow users to see the margins or errors in the data. We can add error bars to certain types of charts, including line chart, bar chart, and scatter chart. Let's see an example of error bar on a scatter chart. Suppose we have a data like this. Here I calculated the average column using the function average and the standard deviation column using standard deviation function, that is stdev. So here you can see the functions here. And I customized the decimal part of each cell values also. So by using this icon I reduced the decimal places of standard deviation, and you will also get the correct standard deviation value like this if you click on this icon. As I said just before, error bars usually represents standard deviation or standard error. Here we have used standard deviation for representing error bars. Let's plot scatter plot with the column variables like concentration and average value. So I selected concentration column values and also average column values by clicking the shift button and control button. Now we want to insert scatter plot. So from the insert menu we have a charts group. From that we have to select the scatter plot. So now we have got the scatter plot. Now we want to add error bars, right? For that, go to add chart elements. From the options or the drag down list we have an error bar option. From this also we have standard error, standard deviation values, but do not select these options because it will show different or wrong error values. Since we have already calculated the standard deviation values, we can use those values by customizing error bars with the calculated standard deviation value. So click on more error bars option, and over here again we have to click customize with specify values. So here we have to specify the values of standard deviation. So our standard deviation value is starts from here to 1.0, right? So we have to select those value by clicking the shift button. So now the positive error value is comprised with standard deviation value, and you have to insert the same value in the negative error value also. So we have entered and click OK. So now we got the error bars of our data. So as you can see that here we have both horizontal and vertical error bars. Since the horizontal error bars on this data doesn't show any value or any change, we can delete it or ignore it. For that, click on any one of the horizontal error bar, then change the fixed value to 0, then press enter. Now you can see only vertical error bars in which the tiny or minimum error bar is at 0.1 and large error bar at 1.0 standard deviation value. Thus we could say that the tiny error bar results the trial range is more precise and we can go ahead with that data, that is 1.0, 1.2, 1, 1, 1, 1, which shows the tiny error bar. So this data is more precise and true, so we can go ahead with these values. And lastly, I want to add one more thing, that if we need to show or to predict some future values, we can insert trend line also here. So from the design tab, from the add chart element, add trend line also, like this. So this will show more precise to the data and also we can predict the future data. So this comes to the end of error bar, how to plot error bars on scatter plot. We can also add error bars to other charts also, like line chart, bar chart. So in this video I illustrated the error bar on scatter plot. Next, secondly, how to use sparklines to show data trends. What is a sparkline? It is a tiny chart in a worksheet cell that provides a visual representation of data. Use sparkline to show trends in a series of values, such as seasonal increase or decreases, economic cycles, or to highlight maximum and minimum values. Now, where to add sparklines? If we do not need to allocate a space for big charts, like what we did on error bars, we have a specified area to plot this chart, right? So we don't need this much of space to plot any chart. Instead of that, I simply need to position a tiny chart near to the data. Then we can use sparklines. Suppose this is our data with comprises with region and quartile sales value. We want to check the trend of sales in each region. Then select a blank cell under the performance of Asia, and we are going to add, or we are going to track the trend of sales of Asia. So I selected a blank cell under the performance of Asia, and from the insert menu, from the sparklines group, I selected line chart. So here you can see that there are two more options to plot sparklines: line, column, win or loss. So you can choose anyone from this options. So I am here using line sparkline, so I choose line. Here you have to enter the data range. Since we are checking the trend in sales values on each quartiles, I have to select the Q1 sales value of Asia, Q2 sales value of Asia, Q3 and Q4 respectively. So I selected the quartile values, sales values of Asia, and I clicked OK here. As you can see that from the design tab you can also customize the sparklines also. you can check markers here to point out the each quartiles values, highest point or lowest point, anything, any customization can be done using the design tab. You just click and drag it down and you will get the sales trend of sales in other regions also. So this is how we can plot sparkline to show the data trends. So this comes the end of today's session. I hope you all understood how to plot error bars on scatter chart. We can also use error bars in line charts or bar charts like that. Secondly, we have learned about how to use sparklines to show data trends. Thank you.